Hello and welcome to the Clarity 16.1.2 Feature Supportability Training. My name's Catherine Ellis and I'm a Product Manager with Clarity. 16.1.2 Task Management. What's new in Task Management? Users can now see the properties of task dependencies in a new subtab on the Task Details flyout. The Tasks workspace now honors the Details flyout configuration of the different subtabs based on the associated investment blueprint. And the Investment Manager now has the ability to copy tasks from any project or custom investment into their current investment. Why is this important? Adding the Task Dependencies subtab in the flyout is a prioritized customer idea. This new subtab provides the Investment Manager with the additional properties for any task dependency for managing lag time to prepare for use with auto-scheduling. The ability for the Tasks workspace to honor the configuration from the associated investment blueprint is important for users to see the correct subtabs when viewing tasks from different types of investments. Providing the ability to copy multiple tasks from investments is important to many of our customers as a prioritized idea. One of our customers says, "In my company, this is the most requested functionality. Users create new investments and they don't want to recreate all tasks and associated to-dos manually. Even within the same investment, there is a need to copy or reuse tasks." Task dependencies. The standard blueprint for projects or custom investment types has the new Dependencies subtab automatically configured between the Assignments tab and the Links tab. For any custom blueprint that the Clarity Administrator has created, will not have this new subtab automatically added after the upgrade. It will be up to the administrator to make the choice to include the subtab in the Custom Blueprint Tasks module. In past releases, the configuration of the subtabs for the Task Details flyout was not being honored, and thus users were always seeing the tabs from the standard blueprint, regardless of removing or reordering the tabs with different investment blueprints. As you can see here on the left is a project where the Dependencies subtab is configured between the Details tab and the To-Dos tab, and the Links tab has been removed. Navigating to the Tasks workspace and looking at any task within this same investment, the user will see the same Details tab layout. Let's look at the fields available on the Dependencies subtab. By default, the grid displays the primary dependency property fields, such as the relationship of the dependent task, the type of relationship, and the lag time. If the lag type is daily, the lag number represents the number of working days between the task and the dependent task. When a percent lag type is selected, the lag number represents a percent of the duration of the predecessor task to determine the number of working days between the two tasks. The use of the lag field only impacts the schedule when using auto-schedule. Changing the number does not automatically move the dependent task. The most common type of dependencies is where both tasks are within the same investment. However, if there are external task dependencies created from Classic or PPM Gantt, the dependent investment name and ID values can be used to identify external dependencies. The name and ID would be different than that of the current investment. Note, if there are external dependencies, they're not listed as tasks in the list of tasks within the investment. Currently, the only external task that can be seen is when you're in a project that has an associated subproject, and the tasks between the master and subproject can be seen. In this demonstration, you'll see how to update the blueprint for the task module and view and manage task dependencies within different investments. We'll log into our system as the administrator and demonstrate the Dependencies subtab functionality. As you can see, this particular project is using a customized blueprint and not the standard project blueprint. Immediately after upgrade, we'll see that the Dependencies subtab is not included in the Task Module Detail flyout. As you can see, the Dependencies subtab is not here. If we change the blueprint to associate to this project, we should see the Dependencies subtab from the standard project blueprint. As you can see, the subtab is there for the standard project blueprint. Let's go back into the project and change it back to its particular custom blueprint. And we'll go and update the blueprint to have that subtab in there. And this is what the administrator needs to do immediately after upgrade if they want to see that subtab on any of the custom blueprints. Here's the Dependency subtab, and we'll put it in right after the assignments. Now that we've returned to the project for this blueprint, we can see the Dependency subtab. As you can see, the Dependency subtab has a grid showing you all the dependencies associated with a particular task. It gives you the relationship, the type of relationship, the lag type, whether it's daily or percent, for which you could change, and then a number associated with either the number of days or the percentage. And the numbers can be positive or negative. So let's say, for example, we want this task, the deployment phase gate complete task, not to start 10 days after the finish of the usability and user acceptance testing task, but we want it to start kind of in the middle. So like maybe -5 days. Now, simply changing the number does not automatically move the tasks. The tasks will only move with relationship to the dependencies based on auto-scheduling. So let's go and do an auto-schedule. As you can see, for purposes of this demonstration, all my tasks are starting pretty much on the same date. So let's schedule this to start in June. As you can see, the original start date was back in May, and they have been subsequently moved forward based on the auto-scheduling and based on the lag dates. And you can see the one I did with the negative number started at 5 working days prior to the finish date of the other task. So you can use positive or negative numbers, and when you do the auto-schedule, it will schedule it accordingly. So I'm going to go ahead and publish my changes. And if we were to go into the task workspace, we would see that dependency subtab there as well. Let's just pull in the blueprint so that we can look at different projects with different blueprints. As we know, we updated the major blueprint, so any project that has that should have the Dependencies subtab. And as you can see, it has it. If we group by blueprint and look at a different one, you can see that each blueprint associated with different investments now are honored in the Tasks workspace, based on whatever blueprint has been associated with that investment. So here's our standard project blueprint. And you can see that the Dependencies subtab is here as well. and you'll be able to see if there are any dependencies on any tasks for that within the task workspace or within the investment itself. And this concludes the demonstration on the Task Dependencies subtab module. Task Management. Copy From feature. Customers want the ability to copy tasks from other investments into the investment they are managing. We're leveraging the existing Copy Tasks from a Template functionality from the classic Project Task tab and PPM Gantt. We've made enhancements to this functionality for use in the Clarity user experience. The Copy From action will appear in a project or custom investment when the investment manager has edit management rights on their investment, which includes the permissions to manage tasks. The investment manager will also need investment view permissions to pull in tasks from other investments. Here are a few important points to remember for a successful copy. To copy any task with assignments, the user will need resource booking rights as the assignees will be added into the investment staff. All task-related to-dos and links are automatically copied without additional rights. That means if there are to-dos on the task and the current user does not see them or does not have access to them, they are still copied and other users that may have access for the to-dos will see them. Although the Task ID field is not a required field, the ID is constrained by a rule that it must be unique within an investment. Therefore, if you are using task IDs, you'll be restricted in what tasks can be copied successfully. One recommendation is to have a set of tasks without the task ID, and these can be copied multiple times into the same investment. Full details regarding all aspects of the existing Copy Tasks functionality is available for viewing on Knowledge Base article number 262547. In this specific example, the user is in a project for which they have edit access and can see the Copy From action in the Tasks module timeline layout. When clicking this action, the user now sees a list of different investment types for which they have access to at least view from. For this example, the project investment type is selected. Step 1 of the action step allows the user to search for a specific project. It can be the same project that the user is currently on or a different one. Then, for the second step, a list of tasks for that investment appears. Existing views and filtering can be used to locate the appropriate set of tasks. The user can then select all tasks, a summary type or phase type tasks, or multiple discrete tasks. Selecting a summary or phase type task will automatically pull in all child tasks. For example, the closing phase has been selected. This will bring in both the closing phase task and the child lessons learned task. As a best practice, I strongly recommend setting up a shared saved view that can be used for the copy functionality. Configuring a view to use the WBS sort and phase name will provide a flat list of tasks in the grid that will allow the user to visualize how the tasks would appear hierarchically in a timeline. It also allows the user to quickly see which tasks are the phase or summary tasks that can be selected for pulling in all subtasks. What happens to the task dates when it is copied into my investment? Does it impact the overall investment date range? For the tasks that are copied, Clarity determines the interval from the investment start date to the task start date and keeps that interval when the task is added into my investment. For example, if the selected task start date is 1 week after the investment start date, when it is copied into my investment, the new dates for the copied task will start 1 week from my investment start date. If the duration of the task is longer than the remaining duration of my investment, it could push out the investment finish date. For illustration purposes, my investment has been created with one milestone at the start of the project and one milestone at the finish. My investment has a duration of 4 weeks, from June 5th through June 30th. I want to copy a set of tasks from investment number 2. Looking at this phase, you can see the first task starts 1 week after the project starts, and the second and third tasks start 3 weeks from the start date, and so on. Looking at the entire duration of this phase, you can see it is 6 weeks, which is longer than my investment. Let's see what happens when we copy the planning phase from investment number 2 into my investment. The planning phase task and all the child tasks are pulled into my investment. Each task is added relative to the start date of June 5th. As you can see, the duration of the tasks copied was greater than my investment's duration, and therefore my investment finish date is pushed out to encompass the full duration of the new tasks added. And now my investment has a new duration of 7 weeks. In this demonstration, you'll see how to copy tasks from projects and custom investments into the current investment. In my demo, I'll run through a couple of use cases and point out some of the general behaviors as explained in this presentation and provided for in KB article number 262547. Tasks can be copied from the same investment or other investments. If a task ID is present, it can only be copied once if there is not already a task with the same ID in my investment. Conversations are not copied. To-dos and links are copied without additional access rights. When both predecessor and successor tasks are selected, the dependencies are copied. With the proper access rights, when task assignees are added to the investment staff, they may be converted to roles if the system option is enabled to convert resources to roles. For copying a task with actuals, the actuals are converted to ETCs, the percent complete is reset, and the status is reset to not started. Let's log into the system as Dana. She has the ability to create projects, investments, and to manage staff and tasks, and we'll have her copy tasks from other investments. Let's first look at projects, as this is the most common use case that we have for copying tasks. We have an existing project here with some actuals. And let's go in and take a look at the task module. The project goes from February to October. In the task timeline, you can see that there are many tasks with dependencies and assignments and ETCs and actuals. Let's take a look at our saved view that has a phased list that we can use when we're doing the copying. So I've created a predefined saved view that has the WBS sort as the first sorted column. A task is task indicator, the phase name, the name of the actual task, and the ID, which is important when we're doing the copy, because you can only copy a task with an ID one time to the same project. You cannot have 2 tasks with the same ID. I've also added in conversations to see if there's any conversations on a task or to-dos on a task, ETCs, actuals, and percent complete, and the status. And this will be important as we go through the different use cases and what happens to the data when we copy the tasks. Let's go and do our first copy. As you can see, I've created a brand new project that starts in May and ends in August. We don't have any staff yet, and let's take a look at our tasks. No tasks yet. So let's copy some tasks. We need to go to the timeline, action menu, and because Dana has the ability to edit this project, she sees this action to copy from. And we're going to keep within the projects, and it will pull up my last list of projects that I've been looking at, and I want to copy this one. So I'll just highlight the row, click the Next button. We see our saved view for the WBS flat phase list. Let's just copy phases so that you can see that when you just copy a phase, it brings in all the children. So I'm going to just copy the first 3 phases. I'll leave out these other phases for the next part of the demonstration. As you can see, it brought forward the assigned resources. The actuals were converted into ETCs. The percent complete was reset to 0, and the status was reset to not started. Let's add in the ID column. And you can see it brought forward the ID. You can also see that it brought along all the dependencies associated with each of the tasks. Whenever you copy both tasks on both sides of the dependency, then you'll get the dependency line. If you only bring in one of those tasks, it will not bring in the dependency line. So let's look at that. For example, we'll go back into our project and copy another task. We'll just copy this one task here. And if we look at the details panel for this task, we can see that there are some dependencies. But because we're only picking this task and not the dependent tasks, we may or may not see the dependencies come. So for example, we already have the construction phase gate task in our target project, but we don't have the usability and user acceptance task in our target project. So we may get one of these dependencies once we copy the task. As you can see, this task did get one of the dependencies. Because it had the construction phase gate complete task, it knew that that dependency linked to that task, so it copied it over. But because we didn't have the second task when we selected it, it didn't have another dependency. And if we open up our details panel, we can see that it has that dependency. Now let's take a look at the to-dos, links, and conversations within tasks that may have gotten copied. I know on the initiation phase we saw that there were some conversations. Conversations are not copied, therefore I do not see a conversation on the target project. We do know that there are some to-dos on one of these tasks, and I can't remember which one, so let's see if we can see the to-do. It was on this one, and that one got copied over. So you can see the to-do got copied over. Also on the initiation phase, there was a link, and it copied the link over as well. So whenever you copy a task, the conversations do not get copied, the to-dos and the links do get copied. As you know, we didn't have any staff members, but because there was assignments and Dana has access to book staff, they properly added the staff into this investment when we pulled the tasks in. Now let's try and add our tasks again with this ID. What we'll do is we'll actually get rid of the IDs, and then you'll see that it will come. First, we'll copy all the rest of the tasks, and we'll do it in such a way that it will we'll try to copy all tasks. So here I'm selecting all tasks, and even though I have some tasks already, we'll see what happens. It will silently not copy these tasks that are already on the project that have an ID value of the same value. So we have all the tasks, and it skipped adding the other tasks that were already there because they had the same ID. Now let's wipe out the IDs on all of these tasks and let's copy again, and you'll see what happens. So the quickest way to wipe out the ID would be to do a select all from the grid and do a bulk edit. And we'll just put in a non-value. Now all the IDs will get wiped out. We'll go and add the tasks again. So we're going to add 20 tasks. And as you can see, it added the tasks again because it has the number on there, and the ones that we had previously didn't have a number. So they copied them all. If I collapse all the phases, you can see that they copied all the items again. Next, let's try to copy tasks from a custom investment type. I'll just go into one of my custom investment types and create a new investment and copy from a project. Dana has the ability to edit the tasks. Because Dana has the ability to edit this investment as she created it, she has the ability to copy from. And as you notice, from within a custom investment type, you only have one action at this time to copy from. And here you can pick other custom investment types or projects. Let's pick a project because we know it has tasks. And we can actually pick it from the one that we did for our demo. And you can see we have these tasks here. I want to just copy these phases without the IDs. Now you can see that you've copied tasks from a project into a custom investment type. And you can go the other way as well. When you're inside a project, you can copy tasks from a custom investment type as well. And that concludes this demonstration. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you found this presentation informative.